So for 7.2 in arithmetic sequence, you have to find the common difference. The common difference is what you're adding. Oh, I don't even know if I spelled that right. No, well, really you're adding. If it looks like subtraction, then you're adding a negative number. So I don't know why this person wrote subtract in there. But it's what you're adding to get the next term. So, I mean, it might look like subtraction, but then you're just adding a negative number. In a geometric sequence, you have to find the common ratio. That's what you're multiplying by to get the next term in the sequence. So, for example, expressions. That first one, 3, 6, 9, 12. The expression that you could use is m plus 3, or you could use r plus 3, or z plus 3. It's just some variable plus 3, because you can plug in 3 where the m is. 3 plus 3 gives you 6. Plug in 6 where the m is. 6 plus 3 is 9. So you're just getting the next term in the sequence. For the next one, you have 1, 5, 25, 1, 25. So your expression is 5 times the number. So 5 times 1 gives you 5. 5 times 5 gives you 25. 5 times 25 gives you 125. Any questions about that? So the number 1 says let n represent any number in the sequence. 2, 24, 46, 68. Which number, or which of these can be used to determine the next number? Any ideas? C, n plus 22, because you can take 2 and add 22, you get 24. Then you can take 24, add 22, you get 46. You take 46, you add 22, you get 68. Any questions on that? All right, we're going to go ahead and skip to 4 so I don't have to scroll down just yet. 4 says look at the following variable expression, p plus 8. Which sequence is described by the given variable expression? So if you take 3 and plus 8, do you get 24? Okay, so we already know that A is not the answer. So if you take 8 and add 8, do you get 16? Okay, is 16 plus 8 32? Okay, so then that one does not work. But do you see how they're trying to trick you that the first one works? Okay, so just because the first one works doesn't mean that you have to stop there. You keep trying. What about C? What's 17 plus 8? What's 25 plus 8? What's 33 plus 8? So then C is our correct answer. Any questions on these? All right. So these should be easy questions to get right on the SOL, right? All right, so 2 says, which statement is true about the pattern shown? So it goes from 5 to 20, 20 to 80, 80 to 320. So are we multiplying or are we adding? Okay, so we're multiplying, so I'm getting rid of common difference because we know that that's adding. So the common ratio, are we multiplying by 4 or are we multiplying by 15? We're multiplying by 4. 5 times 4 is 20, 20 times 4 is 80, 80 times 4 is 320. So the common ratio is 4. Any questions? All right, number 3. You have to complete the table with an expression that describes each sequence. So you have to use the sequences at the bottom and match them with the sequences in the table. So the first one is 3, 6, 9, 12. Which expression would match that sequence? P plus 3. Because we're adding 3 to each term. 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12. So what about the next one? 1, 5, 25, 1, 25. 5R, because we're multiplying each term by 5. 1 times 5 is 5, 5 times 5 is 25, 25 times 5 is 125, and so on. What about 2, 4, 8, 16? 2T. Because 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. What about 4, 8, 12, 16? B plus 4. Because we're just adding 4 to each term in the sequence. 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 4 is 12, 12 plus 4 is 16. And any questions? Okay. Number 5, identify each sequence that has a common ratio of 1/4. So common ratio means what again? Multiply. So it says multiply by 1/4. Okay. What's 1/4? Like, how would you type that in your calculator? Okay, so you could find out what 1/4 is by doing 1 divided by 4, and that's going to give you 0.25. So that means we have to multiply by 0.25. So if we do 7 times 0.25, do we get 28? If you're not sure, put it in your calculator. What is 7 times 0.25? So it's not 28, right? Okay, so I know that that's not an answer choice. What is 512 times 0.25? 128. What's 128 times 0.25? What's 32 times 0.25? So I know that that is an answer choice. Okay, what's 256 times 0.25? What's 64 times 0.25? What's 16 times 0.25? Okay, so that is an answer choice. What's 12 times 0.25? Oh, so that's not an answer choice, is it? Okay, because 12 times 0.25 is not 48. Okay, what's 320 times 0.25? What's 80 times 0.25? What's 20 times 0.25? So this one is an answer choice. All right, what's 768 times 0.25? What's 192 times 0.25? What's 48 times 0.25? Okay, so that is an answer choice. What about 560 times 0.25? 140 times 0.25? Oh, so that one is tricky because the first one works, but 140 times 0.25 is 35, not 36. So that is not an answer choice. So do you see why you have to go through each one? Yes. Questions, Justice? You would get the whole problem wrong if you selected, let's say that you selected the second one, the third one, the fifth one, the sixth one, and you selected that last one, you would get it wrong, even though you had most of it right and you selected one incorrect one. That's the thing with those TEI questions. You have to get all of them right.